Hey there, mums and dads. If you've got teenagers in your household, the chances are at least one of them starting to think about buying their first car. The question I've got for you is, have you taken the time to explain to them that buying their first car is really just the start? In this video, I'm going to share with you a letter I wrote to my kids explaining to them that there are a whole lot of cost with owning and running a car. Some of the cost we can predict, a lot of them we can't. Hey there, mums and dads. It's a super exciting time for our kids when they're starting to think about buying their first car. But my experience is that most kids go into buying their first cars completely unprepared for the real costs of owning that car, not just in terms of the regular expenses, you know what I mean, the rego, the insurance, the maintenance, the tires. Most of the time they're not prepared for those, but almost all the time they're not prepared for the big costs that can come their way when they own a car. Now, this is a real test for parents because this is also a chance to help our kids or get our kids to stand on their own 2 feet. This is a point in time where if we haven't prepared our kids for the fact that there will be regular costs, and more importantly, if we haven't prepared them for the fact that there will be big, unexpected expenses from time to time, then the chances are they're going to keep coming back to you for handouts to prop them up. And that is not what we want. This is our first opportunity to draw a line in the sand and say to our kids, hey kids, there are all these costs. Before you buy your car, I want to make sure that you're prepared for those because we're not going to act as your cash reserve. Really important, mums and dads. So here's the letter that I wrote to my kids. Hey kids, last week I had a budget session with a young lady called Jess. She was just a year or 2 older than you guys are. She is still studying and has a couple of part-time jobs, earning her about $1,800 a month. As we went through her budget and discussed how to get her bank account structure set up to support her budget, I took some time to emphasize the importance of having a rainy day fund to cover the unexpected expenses and emergencies. As I talked to her about this, she shared with me how her car had literally just cost her $2,000 in January. A new set of tires and a broken handbrake had taken almost all of her savings, and soon she would have to be paying her car registration as well, which is going to be another $600. $600 she doesn't have at this point. Her comment to me was, saving to buy the car had been the easy part. It's the ongoing costs that really hurt. She had hoped to go to Europe for a month later this year, but now realized that this won't be possible. But with a good budget in place, she is hoping to work towards it next year. Now kids, the reason that I want to share this with you is because it gives you a little glimpse into the future and helps emphasize many of the things that I've been teaching you. Firstly, as Jess said herself, buying the car is the easy part. But before buying the car, you need to consider whether you can afford all the ongoing costs. Secondly, there will be really expensive and unexpected repair bills from time to time. So you need to have a rainy day fund of at least $2,000 to $3,000, preferably the $3,000. Lastly, having a budget will help you manage the ongoing cost of owning a car. So you have the money there, to cover each expense as it turns up without compromising your longer term goals. Within the next few years, it is likely you will all be buying your first cars. But before you do, it is super important you are financially prepared for the ongoing costs, not just the cost of buying. Love, Dad. So mums and dads, as I said to you, you need to be having these discussions with your kids now because they rarely think beyond the cost of buying the car. And as we all know, big mechanics bills at some point are a reality. It happens to everyone. So here are the 4 points. Saving to buy the car is the easiest part of owning the car. Secondly, you need to factor in the ongoing cost before buying the car and figure out, can you actually afford them? Fourth, extra big maintenance bills, $1,000 to $2,000, is very, very common. So you need to have a rainy day fund of at least $2,000 to $3,000. And lastly, having a budget will help you prepare for and manage the costs of owning a car. So very simple, mums and dads, but as I said, this is your first test. If you don't want your kids coming back to you for handouts all the time, this is the first point of real financial independence where you can give your kids the responsibility of managing the costs of something all by themselves. And to continue following my journey as I teach my kids everything they need to know about money over the next 12 months, please click on the subscribe button, my left, your right, click on that button, and together we can teach our kids everything they need to know about money so they can live their lives, pursue their dreams free of money worries.